morning show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Week 17 over-unders to bet. Happy New Year. Slam that like button. Let's get this money. First game, we got the Green Bay Packers at my Minnesota Vikings. Over under 46. Money, money, money. Money. I'm going over. I like this money pick, man, because this is a Packers defense that's checked out. I think I told you it 2 weeks ago, and it just keeps getting worse. Jair Alexander suspended. They're going to have 2 7th-rounders at cornerback. They're already having problems rushing the passer. They're having problems covering as well, and without Jair Alexander, I just think Justin Jefferson runs roughshod all over this game. Now, we don't know if we're getting Jaron Hall. We don't know if we're going to get Nick Mullins. I feel really confident if Nick Mullins plays. Like, listen, he's turned the ball over, which if you're betting over-unders, you like when Nick Mullins is playing. It leads to overs. It leads to points. And I do think Nick Mullins or Jaron Hall will be able to move the football. And I also do feel like this Packers offense has made strides. They have gotten better. I mean, they're not world beaters, and I don't expect them to put up 30 points, but I do think they can put together 3 or 4 scoring drive against the Vikings defense. They do seem a little bit tired. They do seem a little bit mentally beaten, and you do wonder, has Flores been figured out for the season? And listen, that's going to happen, man. He can't put on masterclass after masterclass, especially with the low talent level of the Vikings defense. I think the Packers get into the 20s. I think the Vikings get into the high 20s. Give me the over. Make it a damn money pick. Next game, we got the Los Angeles Chargers at the Denver Broncos. Over, under 37. Tough one. I'm going to go under. But I don't like this. I do think Jarrett Stidham is an upgrade on Russell. I know that's crazy, and I know a lot of people have been giving Russell Wilson praise this year. I don't know what games they're watching. I think they're just looking at the score paper, the newspaper clippings, the articles on sites, and seeing the Broncos' final score. Russell Wilson hasn't been good. I think Stidham will add some juice, and that makes me want to go over, but I'm going to go under because fundamentally both of these teams struggle on offense. When you're getting Easton Stick versus Jarrett Stidham, I expect the defenses to take over. And one thing about this Chargers new coach bounce, we did say that this Chargers defense would play better. They proved it against the Bills. I think they continue getting better. I'm going to go under the 37. I don't want anyone touching this. Next game, we got the Cincinnati Bengals at the Kansas City Chiefs. Over, under 44.5. Listen, I'm going to go over, but I don't think we should be betting any Chiefs over, under until this offense stabilizes. And honestly, it's at the point where, is it going to stabilize? Are they going to be able to play better? Like, we've been hyping up this Raiders defense all year, but that Chiefs offensive performance was absolute laughable. Now, they are getting a good dish coming into town. This Bengals defense is struggling. That's why I do think Mahomes will step up. Mahomes will take over this game. And also, this is a Bengals offense that can put up points. And I know Browning got figured out last week against the Steelers. We saw it coming, but I do think Zach Taylor will adjust. I do think they'll be able to put points up on the board. I'm going over the 44.5. I don't want anyone betting it. Next game, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Seattle Seahawks. Over, under 41, under. I like the under here. Listen, the weakness of the Seahawks defense is their secondary, and credit to Mason Rudolph for what he did last week. I just don't think he's going to go out and slang it for like 300, 350. And then I'm also worried about the Steelers secondary. I feel like that's the weakness of their defense as well. But the way Geno Smith is playing, I'm not loving it, man. I haven't been liking it the whole year. I haven't been liking the pass blocking of the Seahawks. And when you got TJ Watt rolling in the Seattle, you don't want to be struggling there, especially on the right side. I'm going to go under the 41.5, 41. It's on a lot of books it's at 41.5. Give me the under. I actually like this. I'm not going to touch it, though. Next game, we got the San Francisco 49ers at the Washington No Names. Over, under 49.5. Money, money, money. Money. I'm going over. I'm going over. And I said 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think the weakest, worst defense in this league at this moment is the Commanders' defense, and they've been absolutely pitiful, and I would be shocked, surprised, stunned if we didn't see Purdy and them boys roll up a 30, 35-point total. Now, you're looking at the Commanders' offense, you're saying, Lawson, they suck. Listen, I get it, but Sam Howell's not starting. And when we look at the film of when Jacoby Brissett was under center, everything flows better. There's more options, more creativity, and there's just better quarterback play. Sam Howell has been absolutely terrible the last 6 weeks. We're not even talking backup level. We're talking Matt Barkley, third string practice squad type level that he's been putting forth on the field. I think Jacoby gets this offense going, and we need to remember, this Commanders team actually has a good group of wide receivers. Everyone seems to forget that. I think they'll be able to put up points. I think the Niners get to the 30s. I see a 30-17 game. I see a 35-20 game. Give me the over. I absolutely love it. Make it a money pick. Next game, we got the New Orleans Saints at the Tampa Bay Bucks. Over, under, 42.5, under. But who the fuck knows, man? I mean, this is a Saints team that is inconsistent. This is a Saints team that struggles on offense. I mean, we got a Buccaneers offense that is playing with verve, gusto. They're playing their best football of the year. And this Saints defense, listen, man, they're old. They're beaten down. They're out of ideas. And I know that's a big factor in this. But I'm going under, man. Divisional game, second time playing each other. And I just don't trust the Saints offense. Next game, we got the Arizona Cardinals. Zona at the Philadelphia Eagles. Over, under, 48. Over. I think this Eagles offense makes a stand, man. I think this is an Alamo-type game for them. Listen, I know it's against Zona. I know it's not going to change the last few weeks, but I think this Eagles offense makes an Alamo stand. Now, the big reason, the big factor why I got this going over, who's the worst run defense in this league? Cardinals, and it's by a long shot. When you let the Bears put up 200, 250 rushing yards, that's an issue, and it's not going to get better against the Eagles. I think the Eagles run it for over 200, and I do think there's some swift props we can exploit. And Cardinals offense, listen, man, they left a lot of opportunities on the field against the Bears, but I do think they'll be able to move the ball against the Eagles. I do think this will get into blowout territory. When you get to blowouts, you get free points. I'm going over the 48. Next game, we got the Los Angeles Rams at the New York Giants. Over, under, 44.5. Money, money, money. Money. I'm going under. I absolutely love it. And when we picked this game at 6.5 on Tuesday, it was a money pick. I did think Tyrod Taylor would start. Once that news broke, it's down to 4.5. Did we lose a little bit of value there? Yes, but I think we're gaining a little bit of value with this under. And it's the same thing, man. This Giants defense can ball, man. And we need to remember they've been put in bad situation after bad situation this year. It is hard to judge a defense when the offense is complete ass. It really is. But I think this Giants defense comes to play, and I'm a little bit worried about the Rams traveling across the country, playing in the cold. They're not going to be able to have the dome, and we know Stafford has been absolutely surgical. Credit to him, credit to McVay, but I think this Giants defense can have a great day. And I do think Tyrod adds a little bit of verb, and he adds something to this offense, but we do need to relax. Like, I don't think Tyrod Taylor is going to transform this team, and I do think this Rams defense will be able to get stops. Like, the Rams defense, man, on paper, they're bottom third in the league. We know that, and I think everyone knows that, but they're good at situational defense. They're good in the red zone. They're good at forcing field goals. I'm going under, making a damn money pick. Next game, we got the Carolina Panthers. Tupper, the Jacksonville Jags. Over, under 38. I think the Jags put up a lot of points. So I'm going to go over. You don't really have a dance partner when you have the Panthers. I mean, I know their offense got to 30 last week. I know Thielen was hyping up Bryce Young. But I don't think that's something we can bet on. That's why this isn't an over. But I think the Jags can get to 24, 27 points. And I do think this is an Alamo-type game for the Jags. This is a prove-it game, season on the line. Do you crumble or do you rise to expectations? And also, this Panthers defense, that sucks, man. Like, they got hit for 33 by Jordan Love last week. I'm going over the 38. Next game, we got the Las Vegas Raiders at the Indianapolis Colts. Over, under, 43.5, under. But this is the toughest one of the week. I got to tell you. This is the toughest one of the week. What do the Raiders do well on offense? They run the ball well. What do the Colts struggle with on defense? Stopping the run, playing physical. So you do have that element. But I'm going to go under, though, because I'm worried about this Colts offense in this game, bros. And some of the stuff I saw against the Falcons was absolutely disgusting. The way that offensive line got their tail whooped at the point of attack in the run game, it was absolutely criminal. It was absolutely criminal. And after getting physically dominated in that fashion, like, I just don't think you bounce back. Like, every week is a new week. Every game is a new book. I just don't know if they bounce back, and I don't know if the Raiders' defense is a team I want to bounce back against. This Raiders' defense is physical, nasty, and the big deciding factor in this under is got Aiden O'Connell versus Gardner Minshew. Give me the under. Next game, we got the Tennessee Titans at the Houston Texans. Over, under, 43.5 under. No science here, man. No science. I do feel like this Texans offense is missing something without Tank Dell. Yes, to get C.J. Stroud back, that's going to be a big emotional boost, and it's also a tactical boost. We know how great he is at football. I'm going to go under, man. You just don't know what you're going to get out of this Titans offense. You just don't know. They had so many damn chances and good situations against the Seahawks, and they seem to squander it besides themselves. I'm going under. No fucking science, man. Next game, we got the Atlanta Falcons at the Chicago Bears. The Bears. Over, under, 38 over. A cheeky over for the Falcons, like I predicted last week against the Colts. Now, a lot of games went over last week. You know, we saw 63 combined points in the Panthers-Packers game. This is that time of the year. But I'm going over. I think this is a battle. I think one team will get into the 20s. And that's why, like, I don't have a read on it. I'm not telling you to bet this. Like, I'm seeing, like, a 23-17 game, 23-20 game. Listen, man, with the Falcons, you just don't, you know they're going to move the ball. You just don't know how many turnovers they're going to have. I'm going to go over, not a lot of science. Next game, we got the New England Patriots at the Buffalo Bills. Over, under, 40.5, over. And this is a really low spread for a great quarterback like Josh Allen. Now, if there's weather systems coming in, you obviously have to bet the under, so make sure you do your research prior, but I do like the over, and I do like the Bailey Zappi experience. Like, I'm not saying he's going to be a starter in this league. I'm not saying the Pats offense is humming by any means, but I do think they're playing better. I do think they're moving the ball better, and I do think Bill O'Brien has more of a symbiosis with Bailey. And I do think this Bills team, listen, man, I've been low on them the whole year, but this is the type of games their team comes to play when it's time to bully, when it's time to whip weaker opposition. The Bills will come, the Bills will show up, and they'll probably put up 27 to 30 points. I'm going over. Next game, we got the Miami Dolphins, Fins, at the Baltimore Ravens. Over, under 47. Under. I really like this under. I can't bet it, though, out of respect for Miami and how many times they've pushed our money picks over this year. I do like this Ravens defense an awful lot, and I have a lot of respect for them, and I also have a lot of respect for this Ravens offense, but I feel like this will be a playoff-type game. You guys know what I'm talking about. For instance, if you don't know what I'm talking about, churn on that Dolphins Cowboys game of last week, the tempo, the physicality. Everything seemed a little bit tighter, and I think that's a big factor in this game going under the 47. Next game, we got the Detroit Lions at the Dallas Cowboys. Them boys, over under 53.5. Money, money, money. Money under. Every Cowboy, listen, man, I'm going under. I get it. It's a money pick. It's a borderline money pick. It's not something I want to put all the chips in with, but I do want to have a little bit of a sprinkle. Now, this Lions defense hasn't been playing very good. I mean, they've gotten progressively worse since like week 6. And yes, they did pick Nick Mullins off, but let's not give them a lot of credit for what they did against my Minnesota Vikings. But this is why I had to go on the spiel about a playoff type game, a physical type game. I think Detroit's going to run it a lot, man. And I think this game's going to look a lot like week 1 against Kansas City, Detroit versus Kansas City week 1. I think we're going to see a lot of the Lions running it, a lot of ball possession, and I think we're going to see this Lions offensive line push around the Cowboys defensive line. I don't think you want Goff throwing it 30, 35 times, and you certainly don't want to give the Cowboys 10, 11 possessions because you know your defense isn't going to stop them. And I don't trust Dak fully. I got to tell you guys, like, I don't trust him fully in these big games, in these big moments when there's a lot of resistance. I'm going under the 53.5. And can we be honest? To be honest, like 53.5 is awful big. It's awful big, especially when you look at a Lions offense that is very, very good, but they're not explosive. They're not high flying. They're not going to get chunk plays. I'm going under the 53.5, making a damn money pick. Next game, we got the New York Jets at the Cleveland Browns. Flacco, over, under 34. Who the fuck knows, man? Who the fuck knows? I'm going to go under, and just before people get excited and want to bet this, man, this Browns defense is absolutely awesome, but the problem with the Browns is they give points to other teams, and you can look at that Browns-Bears game as living proof. Joe Flacco threw 2 pick sixes, and it's been like that the whole year. I'm not picking on Flacco. I really like Flacco. I think the Browns can make a run in the playoffs, as crazy and delusional as that sounds. I'm going to go under, but it's not a money pick because the Browns offense could give the Jets 14 points this game. I still think the Browns win and cover, but there is a possibility the Browns just hand them points. And I don't think there's a team in this league that makes more critical errors than the Browns. I'm going to go under, man. This Browns defense should hold the Jets under 10 points, but we know how this league goes. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Happy New Year. Let's get this money. We got it in 2023. Let's get it in 2024.